United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, I'm Nathan Blizzard. I'm an economics major at CMU, minoring in business administration and history. I wanted to join the College Republicans group on CMU's campus because I felt kind of isolated being conservative in a liberal arts college. Being around people that share the same beliefs as me and being able to do things and not feel judged for the things that I think and believe was really a major deciding factor for me for wanting to join. Actually, if we didn't already have a College Republican group on campus, I was going to try to start one, so it's actually a really good thing that we actually do have one. To me, and a majority of people, the basis of conservatism is free markets, limited federal government, and the ability to express yourself freely and stuff like that. I have been a College Republican member since Thanksgiving of last year. So not a year yet, but coming up shortly. What made me want to join was, the deciding thing was, on my floor, freshman year, I lived with all the Max Scholars that were returning from last year. A Max Scholar is someone that had the Multicultural Advancement Scholarship. And so it was a very left-wing dorm hall. And I didn't really feel included in a lot of things that were going on. I felt like if people were discussing things, it was better for me to keep quiet, because a lot of people, even though we preach tolerance, we preach, oh, everyone's included, it's usually with a little asterisk that says, except conservatives, because if you start saying things that don't go with the norm, people kind of reject you or resent you. And that's what made me want to join, because I wanted to be able to discuss my opinions with like-minded people and not feel afraid to express myself. A couple College Republicans events that I helped with were before the election last year, we did a parade in Midland for the main conservative candidate for the federal Congress and the local state Congress. I also helped, and we kind of went to the Ben Shapiro conference that happened at Ferris State. That was a big fun event that we went to. We usually do a lot of things that help out candidates and stuff. I haven't really had the time to be a part of it as much because of working and school together, but there's a lot of things that happen. The political diverseness that's been affecting our country is also very prevalent in CMU. Election night, when Donald Trump was slowly getting at the edge over Hillary Clinton, I was on my floor repping my Donald Trump for President sweatshirt, my Donald Trump socks, and there was this large mass of liberals that were harassing me from the second I left my bedroom door to when I got off the floor. And then after he won, I went downstairs to the Towers lobby, that is one of the bigger dorm halls in CMU, on CMU's campus, and I was then yelled at by a group of liberals for voting for Donald Trump, and then I was proceeded to be followed to the elevator, and then when I got to my floor, I was harassed by a Max Scholar, someone that's supposed to be one of those people that champion diversity and tolerance and all of the other multicultural stuff. She harassed me all the way to my room and ended our friendship. A lot of the Max Scholars that lived on my floor ended their friendships with me just because of who I voted for. Also, whenever I try to talk to girls or find a date or just try to make new friends, I always feel like it's a secret that I'm a conservative. The second that I express that, hey, I don't really go with the campus norm, people are usually like, oh yeah, I'm fine with that as long as you're not xenophobic, homophobic, anti-Muslim, anti-transgender, like a bunch of stuff, and it's just like the fact that you immediately assume that I could possibly be one of those just because of the way I vote or the way I think speaks a lot about how on campus that conservatives are kind of like how gay people were back in the 80s, that like it's okay if you were, it's just you couldn't come out about it. Ever since election night, the harassment hasn't been as bad, but there was an incident last semester where had it happened with the college Democrat group, it wouldn't have gotten national attention the way it did. I'm not really like supposed to go into detail about that, but had it been a different group, the group that made it public wouldn't have done it. We get, like recently I was talking to someone and they resented me because I champion everyone's right to be able to assemble, regardless of what they're teaching. Because that's how the Constitution's laid out, that's what it's supposed to be. Everyone gets equal protections, and I was resented and basically like blacklisted from that person's like life just because of my conservative belief. Personally, I didn't receive any harassment about the Valentine's Day thing that happened. However, a few members on our e-board got death threats, but those, as to my knowledge, stopped after a couple weeks. But I don't really know. I know it created a rift with some people, and people had to get off of social media, and they're still off social media, but I don't think the harassment's as bad. Anyone that is secretly a conservative or has conservative leanings isn't willing to go out and say it, just keep doing what you're doing, keep researching, keep thinking, and if you're afraid, let your voice be heard on election day. Because no one can tell you that you can't vote. No one's going to be looking at you. You can do what you need to do to get our ideas across. You don't have to oust yourself if it's going to like cause problems. But if you see something that's going on and you feel comfortable, speak out about it. If it's about immigration or any of the big hot button issues, if you hear someone like bashing it in class or whatever, and you feel confident, go for it.
Okay, so my name is Sarah Jeffrey. I am the president of the CMU College Republicans. I am a senior here at Central Michigan with an advertising and marketing major and minor. I'm from Temperance, Michigan, which is right on the border of Toledo or Ohio and Michigan. So when it came to joining College Republicans my freshman year, I wasn't really active or involved in politics at all when I was like in high school or growing up or anything, and it was probably around the end of my senior year of high school where I was kind of getting interested in politics, and walking around at main stage my freshman year I ran into the College Republican group and decided to kind of give it a try and see what it was all about, and I ended up getting endless amount of opportunities for volunteer work and for getting involved with politics, for learning about things, and it's just it has become one of my favorite things to do outside of school.
What made you decide to be a conservative?
Okay. When it came to deciding my political beliefs, conservative versus liberal beliefs, I guess I kind of like looked at the different issues that the parties stand on, and when I was reading through the Republican standpoint document versus the Democratic standpoint documents, I realized that my beliefs and what I wanted for this country aligned more with the conservative side of politics. The word conservative is just so diverse, but for me, I guess I'll explain kind of what I believe for the most part. I'm a very economically conservative person, so that means I want what's the word I'm thinking of? In economics, I want to see the country grow with our economic standpoints. I want to see more money coming into this country than going out. I want to see more jobs in this country than outsourcing of companies and factories. I want to see especially our unemployment rate go down, and I want to see more people actively looking for jobs and not just giving up on working altogether and living off the government. Welfare is an incredible system, and it was created to really help out those who need it. And lately especially I have seen more people just depending on it rather than going out and doing what they need to do to survive. When it comes to the social issues, those are ever-changing issues, and there's really no way to make legislation to change every single person's mind about them. But like, I guess I don't really have an issue with anything that other people believe. I just want people to be informed, and I know a lot of fellow Republicans and conservatives agree with that same statement of I'd rather people be informed and have their own opinion than make my opinion the only opinion known. Actually, weirdly, when I joined my freshman year of College Republicans, I decided then and there that one day before I graduated I was going to become president of this organization, because I loved everything about it. I loved that it was giving people the ability to network with other people in politics and really ultimately have like knowledge about what they were thinking, what they wanted to know about, and just expanding on everything that everyone wanted to do and helping them. And I love helping people, so I figured kind of make a step, and I got an e-board last year as the social media director, so I was in charge of all of that, and then that led to president because that position was something I wanted to run for, so I ran for it and I got it. So our fundraising is a little bit different than most groups, whereas most groups will go out and sell something or like volunteer with I don't know, the different organizations that send them just money for volunteering. We do a little bit different. We will work with campaigns, and in return they will help us pay for conferences we go to, or we'll volunteer on a campaign, and through volunteering on that campaign for that conference we will get our hotels and our food paid for. Or we do, one time we actually did a Cali at the Alley, which was bowling with Brian Cali, who was the lieutenant governor, and he came and went bowling with us and anyone that we could get there, so that was really cool. Gosh. We also do like the Las Senoritas fundraiser. We pass out the tickets and get people to go, and that's kind of the most fundraising that we really do. We do a lot outside of fundraising. We do a lot more volunteer work than fundraising altogether. We will walk in parades during the election season especially. We make phone calls, we go door knocking, we just drive everywhere around the state. The statewide College Republican group gets together and we do campaign blitzes where we all help out one district's congressman with all of their campaigning and phone calls and talking with people to get them informed and get them registered to vote and make sure they're going out to vote. And then we also go to conferences, and anywhere from Lansing to Mackinac to DC to, there was actually one in Wisconsin last summer and things like that. We get to go everywhere in the country. Not to levels of what it used to be. I think it's definitely calmed down a little bit, but people will 100% have a completely different opinion on me the second they find out I'm a Republican. I went to like a networking event night one time, and they asked what I was involved in on campus, and I said, oh, I'm president of the College Republicans, and they're like, oh, and they kind of directed the conversation towards ending so they wouldn't have to talk to me anymore. And like, people just automatically assume that I'm a terrible person because I'm a Republican and I support our president. Okay, so going back to February with the whole Valentine incident on campus, at the time I wasn't president yet. We were just about to go into election season for our group, and I was a social media director. So I was firsthand reading and seeing everything tweeted at us, messaged to us, commented to us. It was hard. I honestly did not sleep for about 2 nights. Cried so much that it was hard. Just reading what people would say about me on a meme that they created of me and other members because they wanted to find some social validation in their funny comments. It was kind of eye-opening at the same time to what people truly thought about the Republican Party, and how they were willing to treat people that they didn't even know just because of their political opinion. Seeing my own face shared on Facebook and Twitter hundreds of thousands of times, and having my family come back and say, "Is this you? What are you doing on social media?" and with this written on you and things like that. It was hard to come back from. I definitely kind of hid my political beliefs for a while, and then one day one of my friends said, "Why are you hiding what you believe? At least you stand for something." And I don't know who says it, but if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And from then on, I kind of just said, I don't care what people think about politics, about me, what I believe in politics. If this incident is going to make them think of our group in any certain way, then they need to be educated on actual inclusion and diversity and inclusive thoughts. On campus, it hasn't had a presence since the week of it all happening. Obviously, there's people that still know about it. They're still kind of, "Oh, college Republicans, they did that stupid Valentine last year. They're stupid, yada, yada, yada." Stupid stuff like that we'll hear, but overall, it's died down. It's just like any other political scandal. It blows up for a little bit and then it dies down. It's definitely something that I personally want to not make it known, but make sure the group knows that that kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated. We're not hateful people. We're not exclusive people. We want everyone to feel welcomed in our group, and that's all we really stand for, you know? For anyone who is conservative and kind of hiding what they believe because of the political turmoil going on lately, there's no reason to hide what you believe. If you stand for something, you stand for something. Don't let other people's opinions knock you down and make you feel like your opinion is irrelevant. Like I said earlier, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So stand for something and make your opinion known when it needs to be known. Don't shove it down other people's throats, and always listen to what other people have to say. And just be yourself, you know?